Hello there, welcome to episode 33 of Nevermind the Bullens. My name's Mike Peters. This is your bite-sized Everton podcast and vodcast, reacting to the FA Cup third round game against Rotherham. We're in the draw. I think that's about as much as we can say, really. The draws for round 4 and 5 are taking place together, interestingly. Not quite sure why that is, but anyway, there we go. In terms of the game itself, I mean, I have to say we started like a train. Started really brightly first 15 minutes. Got a goal, managing to, if we hadn't wanted to put a pass through that gap in the between the Rotherham centre halves, both goals actually came sexually the same way. There was a massive gap in the middle of their centre backs. Then would have been something would have been seriously wrong because there was you could have got a shipping tanker through that gap. But anyway, good finish from Cenk Tosun. Lovely assist from Anthony Gordon. More of him later. And we felt we were off the races, and then we really slackened off. We were playing really quickly, passing the ball really crisply. Rotherham couldn't live with us. The difference in quality and obviously the difference between the lower ends of the Championship and the upper echelons of the Premiership were quite clear. And then we just really slackened off. And fair play to Rotherham, they were excellent. They really came back into the game very, very strongly. Thoroughly merited their equaliser. We're unlucky they didn't score more, if we're honest. And, we had to really had to grind it out. Now, getting another half an hour in people's legs with the likes of Luca Dean and James Rodriguez. I know James went off, obviously, as did Luca Dean, actually, to be fair. But getting some minutes in their legs is really good. And it's fantastic to see Luca Dean back so much quicker than we thought about him. A really interesting piece in The Athletic about sort of how he's got back so quickly. And really, a lot of it down to his sheer willpower, to be honest with you. But great to have him back. Lovely to see Ben Godfrey playing at centre half, his natural position rather than where he's been playing for us. Michael Keane was off the pace, which is uncharacteristic for him this season. But Yerry Mina came on, did well. Was a touch unlucky. It seemed to be the fact that he was offside that meant that we didn't get the winner in normal time. Although Cenk Tosun actually did well yesterday. I mean, it does show some clear differences between him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and we're nowhere near as dynamic without Dom in the team. Cenk Tosun just hasn't got the same level of pace. He hasn't got the physicality that Dom has, and doesn't dominate defenders in the same way that Dom's learnt to over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years. But I think there's been a lot of talk about Cenk Tosun in terms of, is he going to be gone in January? I'm not sure. I mean, I think the key thing is, can we get another striker in? Moise Keane's banging him in for PSG. Whether that means that he'll come back to us all guns blazing next season, or we cash in on him and get money back, which there's no way we were going to get our money back, let alone a profit on him when he went out on loan there in the summer. Who knows? Is he what Carlo wants long term as some competition for Dom? Who knows? I don't know, but we shall have to wait and see. But I think Cenk Tosun's going to have to do a job for us, but whether he can do an adequate job of giving us a different dimension and taking some of that pressure off Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because we are completely reliant on him in the striking positions to play that number 9 role, then that remains to be seen. But nonetheless, acquitted himself well, put himself in the shop window, as the old saying goes. The disappointments yesterday were how we slackened off, and certainly in midfield how we were dominated. I felt Andre Gomez started the game really brightly, and thought, well, to be fair, I thought, he looks really at his day. He looked sharp. He was chasing around. The problem was he was chasing around, as it turned out, a bit like headless chicken, and he and Tom Davis were not communicating at all about where they should be, and that sort of lack of communication and them getting in each other's way led to the equaliser, and Tom Davis putting a poor header in and getting in there. And it's really disappointing to see they've been given an opportunity against a lower league side where they can really dominate and show what they're capable of, what we know they're capable of, particularly Andre Gomez, and it's just not taking his opportunities at the minute, and that's really, really disappointing. And it says everything that Abdoulaye Doucouré has to come off the bench, and great to see him get his first goal. Lovely pass from James for the assist. And it just shows again what a key player he has become for us in such a short space of time in terms of dominating that midfield, and clearly an area that we do need to up our game a little bit. Not that we necessarily need extra bodies, but we've got to make the bodies that we have got better. A lot of talk, obviously, now we're in mid-January in the transfer window about players going in, players going out. Talk of a swap with Bernard and us getting Robin Olsen. I think, again, judging by his performance yesterday, Anthony Gordon, I think, more than warrants a run as a player off the bench. He's going to get the odd start here and there. He deserves that opportunity. And Bernard, as much as I like him, he just doesn't justify the amount of money that we're spending on him every week. He's on 100 grand a week, and I think he's a lovely little footballer, but he's just not done with the consistency that we would have expected when we signed him. Now, 2.5 years, he's been given ample chance in the team. Still not quite sure what his best position is. And you're thinking, well, actually, if we can get some genuine competition for Jordan Pickford, which Robin Olsen is the best competition that any of our number one goalkeepers have had for many a long year, then I think it makes sense. It gives Anthony Gordon a chance to come through and get an extended run in and around the first team squad and get more minutes in the Premier League. I think that's a pragmatic decision to get. To look at and go, right, where can we ease off the wage bill? Where can we utilise that money better? And clearly it's in the forward areas that we need to get some extra bodies in. Another potential swap deal that's being talked about is to get Josh King out of Bournemouth. Now, I like Josh King, and I wish we'd have gone in for him in the summer. I think he would add an extra dimension to our play. He'd certainly be backup for Richarlison. He can play left and right, can play through the middle as well. Scores goals. Proven Premier League player, and I think he'd be a really good addition and add extra pace into our midfield and into our attacking play as well, which when Richarlison's not there, we really lack. Swap deal being talked about is with John Joe Kenny, and it's quite clear that John Joe Kenny is he's not even second choice as a right back. We've got plenty of defensive cover. Mason Holgate can play there. Ben Godfrey can play there. So, is that a good decision to let John Joe go off and plough his own furrow and progress his career at Bournemouth? Good club. Obviously, we're looking to get back in the Premier League, and I'm sure he can do a really good job for them. The other option, apparently, according to this report, is Jared Branthwaite. Now, Jared Branthwaite, I think, is a player that has got great potential for us, and if he was to go out, I certainly wouldn't want to see him go out permanently. To me, that would be a loan deal. John Joe Kenny could be a permanent deal, but Branthwaite I would want to keep. But happy for him to go out on loan just at the moment, because we are quite well covered in the centre-back positions. So that one we shall wait to see. There's clearly going to be a bit of movement here and there over the course of the next couple of weeks, and we do need to pick up on the momentum that we've got so far this season and try and strengthen where we can, because we have got the chance of having a really good season, finishing certainly in the top six. That should be our aim. We may even sneak into the Champions League places, and obviously we can get a run going in the FA Cup. Who we get in rounds 4 and 5? Well, we'll wait and see, won't we? But before all that, we have to worry about that. On to Wolves on Tuesday night. Obviously, Wolves, excellent team. I think Nuno's done a fantastic job there. They're not quite at the level that they've been over the past couple of seasons, but they're still a very, very tough test. And it'll be a mark for us of how far we've come, given how bad we were there back in July. And, all the sort of ramifications of that. And, Seamus Coleman and Carlo coming out after and really criticising a lot of people and saying how poor we've been. Because it was an awful performance. And it'd be a great test to see how far we've come in the last 6 months against them on Tuesday night. Tough game. But we do need to bounce back after West Ham and make sure that we're not, don't lose any more ground on the teams above us when we're still right in touch with them. So whether the extra half an hour has helped us on Saturday remains to be seen. But obviously they played on Friday night. They'll have an extra bit of recovery time. They played 90 minutes rather than 120. So it's going to be a tricky one. But, players to come back in, rotating the squad. Dom and Richarlison having a rest. Hopefully we shall be able to turn in a performance and, more importantly, get a result. That's the big thing. If you want to get in touch before then, before episode 34, which will be on Tuesday night after the Wolves game, then you can do at NMTB Pod. Until then, come on, you Blues.